Hey, what's going on, roleplayers? It's the Bard here, and welcome back to the corner. Since we finally finished our rogue analysis, it's time to get some fun, funky and practical uses out of some of the archetypes. It's now time for the next part in the Unconventional series, the Unconventional Rogue. I've been having a debate recently as to whether or not magic is overtaking most other fantasy-based characters, and whether skill-based characters are as important, or if they even compare to characters who can cast spells. And I think the answer is yes, but not only yes, in some cases far and away more practical. Healing is an important and often necessary part of any role-playing game. However, not everyone wants to be a cleric, not everyone wants to be a spellcaster. So how are you going to get any kind of healing? And how are you going to make it that your character is interesting enough and vibrant enough that it becomes an actual persona as opposed to just the heal bot of the party? The Thief archetype performs this role admirably due to its fast hands ability. This allows it to use objects as a bonus action, so you can use things like your healer's kit in order to get more healing per round, or be able to heal something and then continue to take other actions without basically wasting your turn. I've seen this tactic used elsewhere, but it's still a viable thing for any kind of thief who's considering going down the Dark Physician route. The healer feat helps you to stabilize creatures and get them back on their feet rather than just keeping them out of the action, so as soon as you've healed them, they can get back to doing exactly what they were doing before. Not only is it good for keeping your companions from dying, it also works well in the action economy because you're only needing a bonus action in order to apply that stabilization because of your fast hands ability. Additionally, you can use your healer's kit to restore 1d6 plus 4 hit points, plus an additional hit point per hit dice of the creature that you're healing. In many cases that can be equal to or even surpass some cure spells, so it's definitely worth considering, especially if you're running a non-magic or very low magic campaign. It's not just hit points. You want to consider the sort of skills that you can use for making other things, like antitoxin for example. Hermit represents a good background choice because it gives you access to the medicine skill, as well as proficiency with the herbalism kit. You can use herbalism kits to make antidotes, and in some cases you can even use it to make cure potions. So even if you are a non-magical character, you still have access to that kind of healing. If you wish to be more well-rounded in other areas, or that particular background doesn't suit your character, then by all means feel free to pick another one, because you can still get hold of the necessary skills and tool proficiencies that you need with the skill defeat. If you do decide to take this route, you might want to also consider getting proficiency with the poisonous kit. Medicine in a high enough quantity, or even medicines combined for a compound effect, can actually be lethal to a creature or character. By taking this route, you might also want to consider your social skills, particularly things like deception or persuasion. Almost everyone trusts the advice of their doctor, so if you can convince someone that a poison is actually a medicine, you can tip the balance in the game with just a simple skill check on its own. A small ripple can turn into a big wave. Not everyone wants to be in the spotlight, some people are just happy being supporting characters. If this is your thing, then perhaps the Field Commander Rogue is to your style. If you enjoy giving additional assistance to your other player characters in the group, then you might want to consider this path. The Mastermind can use the help action as a bonus action. It can also use it up to a range of 30 feet, allowing you to give advantage to any attacks to any party member, even if they're not standing next to you. You're going to be using the help action all the time, and being able to use it as a bonus action is an absolutely incredible ability. But you can only help other characters with skills that you're proficient in, so the more skills you have, the better off everyone's going to be. So skilled again represents a really good choice for the Field Commander Rogue. Inspiring Leader isn't the most amazing of feats. It does drop off a little bit as your levels progress, but it's still fairly useful in certain situations, and not everyone needs the temporary hit points you're going to provide from it, but it can be useful for other things. For example, familiars can understand languages, and therefore you can use it to bump up their hit points as well, which will be something your wizard is going to be very grateful for. If you have a wizard or warlock or any character that has a familiar, those additional hit points are going to at least be able to allow it to survive a hit and then quickly make its escape. So it's going to be beneficial for more than just the players at the table. Any companions that they have could benefit from it as well, depending on whether or not they're capable of understanding the leader's instructions. By adding in a few Battle Master levels, you're going to be able to give more bonuses to the rest of your party, Commander Strike is one of your best options because you can give up one of your own attacks in order to give another, more powerful character a bonus attack. If you're not in a position where you can use your sneak attack because for whatever reason you've been unable to get the flank or get an advantage, then you can at least give the attack to somebody else. If you choose to go a few more levels into Battlemaster, you can get an extra attack, which will then allow you to perform your sneak attack with one of them and give the secondary attack, which would be quite weak by comparison to someone else who can make better use of it. Maneuvering attack allows you to move your party like chess pieces, and this is really important because understand that in many cases, positioning in a battle is what wins you the combat. Additionally, for characters who are not using the Inspiring Leader feat, sometimes your party is going to have enough advantage that your help action isn't going to be of any value. However, you can use your bonus action for the rally maneuver. This will give the player characters some much needed temporary hit points when they're desperate. This takes some of the pressure off your main healer, as well as keeping the other player characters in the combat long enough for you to finish the encounter. This character works something like a Valor Bard normally would. However, the benefit is it has more practical advances when it comes to giving up your own attacks to make better situational uses of the abilities that your other player characters have. It also doesn't have the connotations of music and song and dance that tend to go with bards. Even though it's a trivial thing, it's very difficult for some people to separate the idea of bards from entertainment and put them in a strategic or even warlike environment. So it gives you the capacity to have that commander style approach without having to go down the bard route. This is a character that can put a lot of bonuses into the party, but doesn't require a high charisma in order to do so. So you don't have to be at the forefront, you don't have to be the one doing all the talking. This setup allows you to inspire your party through tactics and intelligence rather than through presence. During the Ranger analysis, someone commented on small characters riding Pteranodons, and I thought, what an amazing idea that is. How can I build a character that revolves almost exclusively around that? The pint-sized paratrooper can be a gnome or halfling or any other small-sized race that your GM allows. You want to start off with 3 levels of Arcane Trickster, and then get an additional 3 levels of Beastmaster Ranger. Just as a little side note, Lightfoot halflings get the naturally stealthy ability, allowing them to hide behind a creature that's bigger than they are. It just so happens that your Pteranodon is medium-sized, allowing you to not only ride it, but to remain hidden from anyone underneath you. As an Arcane Trickster, you're going to want to get your hands on the Featherfall spell. This will allow you to leap quite safely from the back of your Pteranodon and float down towards the place you wish to infiltrate. Your beast then doesn't have to take the risk of flying into an area where it might be vulnerable to ranged attacks. Not only do creatures not expect death from above, they also don't expect you to escape from above either. This is where the message cantrip comes into play. The last command you give your beast is to hide somewhere within 120 feet of where you land. This way, when your mission is complete, you can return to that area and cast message. A message cantrip is less likely to draw attention to you, allowing your beast to then come in and perform the extraction you need in order to get you safely out of the area. If that's successful, then you can return to your party and the rest of you can then go ahead and perform your mission with relative ease. Realistically, you don't need much more than that, although you might just want to consider spells and feats that help you do your job better. From your ranger spells, you might want to consider the Zephyr Strike. This allows you to move without provoking attacks of opportunity. Considering the rogue can use the bonus action to take the dash command, this will double your speed, allow you to move through creatures without taking attacks, and you can still have an action. In this case, you might be able to then use a message cantrip in order to get your Pteranodon to come and pick you up if the mission doesn't go quite the way you want it to. So if the infiltration isn't quite working, then at least you have some way of escaping the horde and perhaps getting out without too much hassle. You also have the option of picking a different roguish archetype, but this would require you to take the Magic Initiate feat in order to get the cantrips that you need for message and to get a 1-shot per day use of Featherfall. This playstyle actually gives you a lot of leeway in the sense that you could potentially pick up any of the roguish archetypes you like and still be able to perform many of the maneuvers that we've listed already. For all of you who made it this far, thank you very much for watching this most recent installment of the Unconventional series. If you liked it, please leave a like, comments down below, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why not consider doing so. Hopefully these ideas will prove to you that you don't need magic in order to excel in a fantasy environment. Although there have been some examples where I've used some magical spells, they're not things that really advance with your level progression. Very basic low level stuff with limited uses, but perform your function adequately. Great suggestions make great videos, so keep them rolling in, and let me know what's next in your list of things that you'd like to see from the Bard. Thanks again for taking the time to check out this video, and I will see you guys next time at the gaming table.